Hello and welcome to the Bee Formless Flow Driven CEO podcast. I'm very lucky because Elad Stern, all the way from New York City, he just said to me this is the first podcast he's done with an Australian. So, firstly, thank you for choosing me, Elad, and welcome to the show.
Thank you. Super lucky to be here. Appreciate it a lot. Yeah, I know the time difference made it hard to meet, but I'm so happy we're here. We can talk. Yeah.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Because it's Monday afternoon for you, Tuesday morning. You're in the past, I'm in the future, but we're right now in the present, and that's what it's all about. You've got a great story, and you're going to talk a lot about what you were doing previously. But I'm just going to give a hint to the audiences that you were a professional tennis player turned co-founder and now co-founder and president of Odeeo. And I love your branding, by the way. Purple is one of my favorite colors. Well, it's a little bit of purple,
Thanks.
so
Appreciate it.
and it's in my brand as well, so it's on the cap. And Odeeo is an in-game audio advertising platform connecting with mobile games to the digital audio and ecosystem. And it's through a proprietary SDK used by top publishers. You founded the company in 2021. So you were playing around, you said in COVID, and then founded it quite literally still in COVID. So it was a kind of a baby by yourself and your business partner or your CEO, which is Amit Monheit. And essentially, what Odeeo does is it enables non-interruptive programmatic audio ads inside mobile gameplay. And you've expanded it into North America following a 5 million funding round. And you relocated with your family to New York to lead US growth since I've only had one sip of coffee so far this morning. And been living in NYC, what you said since July of last year. Tell us about your journey. I'm quite fascinated, to be honest.
Yeah. So, okay, I will start. Actually, I hope it will be a fun one, but people tell me it's interesting one. So, I'm originally from Israel, born and raised in Israel. And actually, my early career before getting into tech, and I had finance there before that, I was actually, like you said, playing tennis professionally. I made it to become a top junior player in Israel and traveled the world from early age. And I even went to the US to did my undergrad and got like a full ride to one of the D1 schools here. So this is my second journey to the
Sit.
US. The
Yeah.
first one was as a student to California from Israel back in the days, over 20 years ago, which taught me a lot about, life, what I want to do, and gave me a lot of the foundation what after I used in my professional career. Um, I ended up like coming back to Israel and go finance, but then a good friend of mine told me, listen, you're in Israel, you need to do tech. You don't do finance in Israel. And it was early 2010. And I was lucky to join an Israeli company in Tel Aviv. We were like 40, 50 people doing digital online in 2010. And this company ended up to become one of Israel's biggest IPOs in
Wow. Wow.
Nasdaq. He called Iron Source. Yeah, the company went public in 2020. I was there most of my career. And in Iron Source, which is also a mobile gaming focused monetization platforms, I met my current partners, Amit Monheit, and this is where we saw the explosive scale of mobile gaming. Because today, gaming is not what it was 10 years ago. Today,
No.
everyone is a gamer. When I go on panels, I ask who see themselves as a gamer, and I see maybe two hands. But then I ask who has at least one game on their mobile device. All the hands goes up. So the perspective of who is a gamer changed dramatically,
Totally.
and it's part of the biggest entertainment medium out there today.
Yeah.
When it looks at actual numbers, it's bigger than music, it's bigger than movies, and people spend a lot of time on that on the mobile. And I can see it firsthand. My father, my wife, my grandparents, they're all playing all those games. And we basically said, we see the explosive scale of mobile gaming. Why nobody is doing audio, which is the best companion of everything? You run, you listen to audio. You drive the car, you listen to audio. You cook, you listen to audio.
Yeah,
Why not
I've got
having
audio
this
on in the background.
non-interruptive?
right now and you can't even hear it, but I've got it on. That's the first thing I do in the morning is I turn the audio on.
Yeah. Why not having this connections, not interfering the gameplay and allow progress, game. And with this idea, we founded Odeeo in 2021. And for almost 5 years into this amazing journey, we are VC backed. We raised over $16 million.
Wow.
We have 40 employees globally in Israel, in New York, in the UK, London. And we're working with the biggest brands in the world when it comes to audio advertisers, the same buyers, the same advertisement you hear in Spotify, in Pandora. It's all the biggest name you can think about. If it's, all the iHearts of the world, the SiriusXM of the world, the actual brands of, all the fast food brands. Those brands understand the power in audio, and until now, they can do it only in two channels, music and podcast. And what we brought in basically is allowing them a new channel into mobile gaming, which is the most engaged and growing channel out there.
Wow.
So this is what we did, and this is what we're doing. And the company has been growing significantly since we founded it, to a point that I moved with my family here to New York because most of our major market is the U.S. market, and we have all the brands and agency here in New York, into which we educate
Yeah.
on a weekly basis. Because inventing a new channel, it sounds cool, but it's very, very tough. Okay? Because at the end of the day, you need to convince the decision maker that what you're bringing to the table will make a difference to their brands. If it's
Mm.
reputation, if it's performance, if it's something that fit with their strategy. So doing so the last year or so, it's been very challenging, but I'm so happy to see that it's starting to kick in. And recently, we just released a big case study about fast food chain here in the US with our partners. Yeah.
Wow, what a story. It's quite incredible, isn't it? Like, we were talking pre-show around sonic branding and you were nodding at me because obviously my background is advertising and there's a whole piece around memorability, when it comes to audio and, registering and I'd love your thoughts on this in terms of I've got so many questions about gaming and audio and the
Yeah.
connection. And, is there something in our brains that, automatically from a gaming perspective and audio, like what's the interconnection there? Like putting the two together, like does it enhance like more memory? Does it
So,
like more joy? Like what is it doing?
so at the end of the day, audio advertising is the oldest form of advertising, right?
Yeah.
Radio has been out there from the early days. In the last, I would say, 10 years, other channels overgrew digital audio channels. It
Mm.
was video, it's big. You have display, which is huge. But audio didn't get the right, I would say, positioning because it sounded old. Who
Yeah.
listened to
Poor
radio?
cousin.
Who does that?
Yeah. It's like a poor
Exactly.
cousin or something. Yeah.
But on the other side, when you look at the actual performance when it comes to brands, which is brand lift, brand reputation, and even performance, you see that audio has the best KPIs, which weren't measurable 6, 7 years ago. But things have changed dramatically, and an entire ecosystem of measurable audio, digital audio advertising came in the last few, emerged in the last few years. So what for us, coming from mobile gaming, doing display, video, and other measurable and attribution that was super, straightforward, wasn't there. Think about it. But now things have changed the last 4 or 5 years, and we can actually attribute easy, measure easy audio ads. So basically, the technology out there, including allow our buyers, our advertisers, to know if someone listened to the ad while playing the game and it did some action down the funnel, was it related to this audio ad? And it's not click oriented. It can be click oriented, but it's other parameters around it. And we've proven over and over in the last year or so that it is working. So gaming in audio, I think it has a good relationship in a sense that when you play a game, at the end of the day, your mindset is chill. You
Yeah.
chill most of the
You're
time, right?
playing. Yeah.
And yeah, and for me, it's a great place for the brands to promote themselves in front of the user. Okay. And that's why we're educating and explaining. You can use the same ad you're using to Pandora or Spotify or podcast, but if you want to take it to the next level, think about different environment, gaming environments, which maybe the ad should be shorter, can be more call to action, but basically think about it when you're creating the audio ad. And I must say that short form audio, which is 15 to 20 seconds, some cases even outperform the regular 30 plus seconds ad. And that's what we saw. Because until our ad unit in mobile gaming, most of the audio ads or the digital campaigns, audio campaigns were brand awareness, most of it, upper funnel campaigns.
Yeah.
In our case, we allowed also mid funnel and down the funnel, and basically opened the entire brand performance channel for brands to engage with the same gaming users that we see are have crazy engagement. Yeah.
Incredible. Do you think it's also to do with you mentioned that where, when you're playing a game, you're quite chill, like from a mindset, you're chill. It's less intrusive when you've got, an ad coming into you because you are more chill. You're not, you kind of like, do you know what I mean? You're in this zone, you're almost in a flow state if you like. And so is it that you're more open, like in terms of why is it that it's like performing so well in an environment? Is it because they're in their own environment? They're not feeling like a brand's coming in and almost in my face, throwing myself at me? Or do you think it's to do with the 15-second, it's snackable,
So,
it's not long?
so, so I think there's a few reasons. Okay. First of all, I always telling this to our partners on the publishing side. The evolution of digital audio, or specifically monetization within mobile games, had different path. Because if 15 years ago, I had a conversation with mobile game developer, and I offer him two options. One option, you show full screen ads, video ad that stop the game for 30 seconds, okay? Or you have a non-intrusive audio ads that run while the game is playing. What would you choose if they paid the same? High percentage of those game publishers told me 15 years ago, yes, but the market was different. Audio took over, full screen took over, which is good. This is their business, right? It's not so good for the user, but this is their business. So us coming in with this new real estate, we had to do a lot of education on the game developer side. And the way it's working so well is one, the hybrid combination of both podcast, TV, search, and gaming make it perform better than just gaming. I won't ask any buyer to go just gaming. Okay, it can, but
It's an
it should be part of
ecosystem.
a hybrid
Yeah.
strategy because the same users that listen to Spotify and listen to podcasts, a lot of those users are playing mobile games, the same mobile games you are
Yeah.
integrating. So basically, we're doing different message, different time of the day, different capacity, and the outcome so far looks great. Okay, I can't say the same for audio because it's for video because I don't do it with video, I do it with audio. Okay, and I think last thing I will touch that most coming from the mobile gaming ecosystem, it's very important to understand. In the early days, the only one who were willing to pay and spend budgets on mobile games were other games. So when you think about it, the ecosystem was built about weird transaction, right? Like you're drinking Coke, but there's Pepsi around it. You think about it, right?
Yeah, yeah, totally.
So the promise of brands and gaming was there for 15 years now, even more. But
Yeah.
only in the last, I would say, since COVID, this promise starting to move forward because brands understood gaming is brand safe. It's brand safe environment. It's much brand safer than other channels we buy in.
Yeah,
Okay.
fascinating.
So it was super important and very important time in which brand took this move and we spotted it. And that's why we entered the space because audio, 99% are brands, the biggest brands in the world, less gaming doing performance for other games. Yeah.
Fascinating. So you said that you and your partner, business partner, were in another company and they went to IPO. And you said you were pre-show, you were playing around with this idea, this business idea in COVID, and then you obviously launched the company come 2021. Did you guys leave the previous company? Like what was the moment where you
Yeah,
were
of
like, all right,
course.
an idea here, let's do it. Was that
No,
how
it wasn't even, no, it wasn't. For me, it was like the previous company, like I said, was super successful. And from 30, 40 people, when I left, it was over 3,000.
wow.
Okay. And for me, I'm a builder. I like the intimacy. And when things got way big, and I know I did well for the company and for myself, I remember like, my boss was like, "Why are you leaving? Like all good IPO in like 2 minutes." I'm like, "It's okay, IPO. I'm good. I'm good. It's gonna be okay, but I'm done." And then I rested during COVID. Then COVID hit. Basically, I rested. I know it was good because everything was slower, so you can have more time to think
Still,
about
yeah.
everything. And actually, my partner, who was the one who came to me, also left the company, and he came to me with this idea. And my first feedback was like, "No, I'm chilling. It's not gonna happen." And that was my first feedback. And what changed my mind was after digging into it, I understood that in the digital ecosystem, think about it, in 30 years, there were only 5 ad units that were invented. You had a display, you had the video, you have the full screen mobile, you have native, search, that's it. Our ad unit was innovative. We invented a new ad unit, which is an icon-based mobile gaming ad unit. This for me is a builder doing a
Revolutionary.
lot of things for, yeah, that's what got me really intrigued because yeah, that's what gets me in the morning. I'm a lot about passion. It needs to have some passion. If you
Yeah.
don't have passion, it's very easy to get burned out. Super easy.
Yeah, I agree.
So that's what got me in. Yeah, that's what got me in. Yeah.
Yeah, awesome. When you booked into the pod and I asked you what's one unique insight or lived experience when it comes to life leadership and or business, and I think this really relates to what we're talking about right now. And I feel like it comes from now knowing that you were a pro tennis player, but you said focus creates freedom. The turning point came when we learned to say no more often. Freedom doesn't come from doing everything, it comes from knowing what not to do. Can you tell us a little bit about that and the business journey you guys have been on?
Sure. So, okay. So first of all, the early days, you just want to get it out there, get some design partners who are willing to take your technology and put in their baby. It's not that easy. It's very hard. And a lot of people, were very like, not willing to do so because they didn't want to risk their business. But we had great reputation in the industry, and some of those partners, supported us and allow us to go in. And I remember, like I said, like I think the biggest key is to maintain enthusiastic and excited about everything, which means even a email saying yes, let's do that, a phone call, a contract. That when you work for a big company, you see those contracts all the time, and you see those big numbers all the time. But getting those excitement over and over again, it's a skill. It's not easy. And if you pay attention to it, to understand, it's a win. And what I learned in my tennis career, that every point has a beginning, has an end, and each one you can win or lose, but then there's another one starts right away. So basically, you hang out, you hang in there, right? You
Yeah.
win, you lose, you want to win the game. So even if you lost this point, you're going to win the next one or lose the next one. There's so many points to be played. If you manage to implement this strategy in your day to day, specifically in business and in startup, because it's very up and down, for me, you find the power and the passion to continue. Because if you think about it, a tennis player who loses head after losing a point, breaking the racket, whatever, losing the game in like 30 minutes. The moment you understand there's a big mental side, even to startup, which is like a sport in so many ways,
So true.
you learn how to overcome challenges. Overcome challenge, understand, take everything in perspective, and very committed to the end goal, which in our case is becoming changing the industry, becoming a bigger company, and really evolutionizing the mobile gaming monetization. Yeah.
Wow. What would you say has been the biggest? I don't love using the word challenges because I see the challenges as opportunities. You can frame them whatever way you want to, right? But what would you say?
Yeah.
You mentioned startups is like up and down. Like, what would you say has been the
Yeah.
biggest hurdles or obstacles you guys have had to jump over, if you like? Like, if we use a sporting analogy like
So
athletics, like you've just used tennis, like what would you say have been the biggest ones to date?
I would say always in startups in general in companies, I think the human factor is the biggest factor. I think finding the right team from day one, it's a bonus if you can do that.
Yeah.
But at the end of the day, there's so many techniques and philosophy around who and what you want to bring in. But the human factor um, is a main factor in success. Super, super important in success and challenging finding the right one. And I think what people don't think about it, what's the most expensive commodity for startup? What is it? What is the most expensive commodity to start up? It's a question for you.
Oh, question for me. Okay. Oh God, there's so many, but I think it's probably,
What's the most expensive commodity for a startup? I will help you. It's time.
you're right,
You
actually. Yeah,
don't have
time.
time.
I was thinking because I was thinking, what is it? Because I think of I was thinking I've got so many different things that I, because
Everybody thinking about money at the end of the day, but at the end of the
it's
day,
time. You're right.
the only thing you can't control is time. Okay? You can get funding and you want to get funding. You can go and become profitable. You need time for that. You need to hire the right people. You need time for that. Everything is around time. So strategizing and building the plan while understanding we have time limits all the time, if it's between the funding rounds, or is it just before releasing a new release and you need to implement to partners, which takes time, was always a key a discussion about how do we do it efficient enough but not too perfect enough, because you don't want to waste time. You want to go
Yeah.
out there, see if it works, and move forward.
Iterate. Yeah.
And I think this is what people don't understand. And that I think what's make Israeli startups so successful and so many. We have this urgency feeling 99% of the time in our DNA. That's the way we are raised. There's urgency, everything, everywhere. In some bad contexts, but also in great contexts when it comes to startup. Because the most expensive commodity in startups when you're starting something new is time. So managing time was important, getting the right people is important, finding the right partners,
Mm.
okay? Finding the right partners from day one, those design partners, which they want to support you, they believe in your vision, you recruit them to really help you to take it to the market. It's a key challenge and super important factor for success in the early days to prove a product market fit. So those are the main challenges we had. We still have challenges when around, like I said, education. I
Yeah.
need to educate the industry, the big industry, the world about invention. Okay. Some people say they love it. Some people say, why do we need it? My job is to show them why I believe it can be a great addition to their current strategy. So it's also a challenge, but I love challenges and it's a fun one. Like the journey is amazing. You meet with the greatest people out there. You really had, I would say, deep discussion, people really, trying to find the right way, why yes and why not.
Yeah.
And you grew from every experience you grew. You grew from every conversation
Yeah,
you
I
grew.
love
Yeah,
it. And I and I
100%.
and I see the solution finding in terms of like you've just talked about human factor, time, partners, it's and you've also like from a mobile game and audio perspective and the ecosystem. A business is an ecosystem as well, right? Like and it's putting that ecosystem together and understanding the complexity of it and how do you solution find it versus problem solve to and constantly
Yeah.
like a human, it's a living, breathing system. So it's constantly evolving. It's constant, like, like when you're sick, your body's sick and it takes time to get better. But when you're performing at your best, it's going like, yeah, let's go sort of thing. So it's kind of like a business, it's a business model right in itself. Like it's like a living, breathing system.
Yeah. But at the end of the day, you know what my career taught me, and I'm sure yourself and a lot of people, I'm 40 plus, right? Right? So you learn that in some cases it's worth stopping something and going to sleep and do it the next day.
Agree.
Or it's worth to disconnect and be with the family because it will give you more energy for tomorrow and you will think about this question differently after you have this quality time. And it's a challenge also. I think it's a challenge, a personal challenge. There's a lot of, all of us are having. I think the key is to recognize it. I didn't recognize this for years. You know who recognized it for me? My wife. She was like, you need to wake up, you're like, you're here, but you're not here, or you're too
You're not
much.
present.
Try, give it a shot. Give it a shot. And I improved. I'm not saying I'm there in what she thinks, but I'm improving a lot. And I think it's a key factor that I've been working in the last, since COVID, actually, since we started this one, to try and find the balance and see the big picture and the big perspective while understanding that when you're doing it, it's very intense.
Yeah, there's a difference between efforting and effortless, right? And when you're like you say, when you're down in here and you're efforting, you're not necessarily at your most creative. You're not at your most ability to able to solve. It's like with your partners when you're educating and things like that. When you step away and get the fresh perspective, I think it really does allow us to intuitively ideas come through and you're like, oh, okay, that's a much easier way to solve. It comes back to what you were talking around
I
about
agree.
time and human factor. Is that something that obviously you've been practicing being more present and the ability to step away, but also spend more time with the family, get your creative juices flowing? If you've been practicing this since COVID, have you also been then influencing your own learnings within your business and with your partner, your business partner, and like
So,
from a cultural perspective?
so yeah, so 100%. One of our values as a company is to find those balance, right? Those It's like at the end of the day, the way we see it, like each person in our company from day one, the one that join us, we see them as owners, right? It's their responsibility. If we bring them in, they understand they're the owner of their domain. A lot of things I don't know and I don't want to know. They know better than me. That's why they brought them in. And it's very easy to get into, like you said, too much in. And my job, I guess my partner in general, as a company, we do it, we talk about it a lot, is like when you're doing it, and sometimes it's very easy because you want to solve something or something doesn't work out or you're really emotional about something. It's not easy, but you need to find someone to tell you, like my wife in this my case or other, like chill, take a day off, think about it. And in our universe or in industries in general, it's a tough one.
Yeah.
It's a tough one because you look right and left and you see people like that, that, that. So people are thinking it's a must. I believe it's very important to, know what you're doing, be committed, and, be very honest with yourself. When things are too much, you need to step back a bit. I'm not saying like disappear for days.
Yeah, no,
You
I
know,
get it. Elad, how did Odeeo? I think I know how the name came about in terms of not exactly, but the connection to audio. How did you guys come up with your business brand name?
okay, just we wanted the original Odeeo.com, but it was taken. So so we went with Odeeo because it's similar, like Odeeo. So it's similar.
Yeah.
This was the story, because Audio.com is very expensive domain, and we thought about something that would be like, fun, gaming, and still like audio. And this one was taken, this was open, so we took it.
I love it. I love it. And what do you see as the biggest in the next 5 years? Like you guys have invented a product essentially. Like you've invented a category, if you like,
Yeah.
within an audio category. What do you think is going to be the next big thing in mobile and audio within the next, 2 plus 5
So
years?
yeah, sure. I think in general, let's talk about audio in general. I think there's a big, actually, the timing of this conversation is great. with the rise of AI, a lot of the channels that advertising channels that were used until today are changing a lot. I'm talking about search mostly. So think about it. A lot of the budgets and like strategy was around SEO and and also buying like ads in search. But what's happening now, the algorithm first give you the sponsors, which is great, but it's only three, and then it give you the summary, and then SEO is just under it. So a lot of traffic of web traffic disappear. Okay, think about it, disappear. Moving
Yeah.
forward, those AI chats will take over all the search traffic, like a lot of it, and redirect the user directly and take action for him. So the channels that will survive this change are attention channels, music, podcast, gaming, TV, CTV now. Those channels won't be affected as much as search the way I see it. So for audio in generally, and you could have seen from a recent announcement of Amazon, they've been growing their audio network, connecting with Spotify, connecting with SiriusXM just recently. The understanding of the market, new channels, emerging channel or current channels, which weren't utilized as expected when it comes to budget, will be get more attention. So in the next 2 years, I predict digital audio as a industry will grow significantly when it comes to the budget that will be employed into the market. When it comes to gaming specifically, being part of this ecosystem of audio and mobile gaming, it's crazy. It's not crazy. It's great because think about it. What would be the only place if search disappears that you can meet the user one-on-one and you can really get the user? It will be mobile. So mobile will become the first place to meet like brands to actually talk to users. TV, it's one to many. Search disappears. Mobile is one to one. So for us being audio, which is growing, and mobile, I'm nothing but excited to think about the
Yeah, you're
next two
world
and a
your
half
oyster.
years.
I love it. I love it. Thank you so much. One final, it's not even a question. I'm trying to think what would be one piece of advice you would give a young up and coming who, like a Gen Zer, for example, who is thinking about starting their own business in a similar, not similar to yours, but like in a like an invention of some sort of revolutionizing a category. What would be one piece of advice you would give them?
Start young, fail as much as you can, and do it over and over again.
Love it. So good.
Yeah, this is the only way to do it.
Yeah, love it.
No other way. If you start young, that's it. You start young and you fail and you fail and you fail, and you don't let fear or other people fear lead you. You just do it and you fail and you embrace the fail. Like I said, you lose the point, but there's a new point, and you just do it until
Love
you
it.
win.
Love it. So
That's
good. You,
it.
you guys, you Israelis, you are so resilient. I call it being anti-fragile, but like every single one who I've spoken to in from an innovation perspective, it's what you guys talk about, and I absolutely love it because it's the only way to keep growing and evolving. Elad, how do we find out more about Odeeo? How do we find out more about you guys and what you're doing, more about you?
So of course, you can always go to our website, which is odeeo.io, audio. You can look us on Google or in chat, you probably would see it. For myself, I'm super available on LinkedIn, Elad Stern. I'm doing my best to answer every message I get. Super available there. I'm always open to support, help, mentor, anything
Educate.
needs to educate, of course, one of my educate. I do my best. I think I started a bit older being an entrepreneur, like only in my 30s, 30 plus, 35, 36. I did well before, but I didn't know what was it, but I was entrepreneur. I didn't know what was it, the feeling.
Yeah,
So I'm
totally.
saying I'm super available. You can reach out to me for anything. Yeah, that's it.
Yeah, I love it. You're only as old as you feel, if you ask me. I'm 48 and I've only just,
Of course.
Like yeah, I've started my own company only 2 years ago. So
Just realize what I need to do. Yeah, that's
yeah,
it.
totally. The world is your oyster. Elad, thank you so much. I love the way you are shaping, but also reshaping an industry. And watch out, world, is all I can say. And Odeeo, and I look forward to seeing what you guys achieve, globally. And yeah, well done. Thank you.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
Have a great afternoon, Monday afternoon. Take care. Thank you.